I'll give you all the choice. Do you guys want to talk about what your favorite hamburger is?
Ooh.
Or what is the greatest championship in DFW sports history?
The sports history one is going to be over too quickly.
I was not going to say that one anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I
say the burger.
Yeah, I was going to say the burger.
Let's talk about burgers.
Yeah.
All right.
It's the Mavs, by the way. It's the Mavs one.
Yeah, it's the Mavs. Okay, cool. We're all in agreement then.
Good.
Love you, Dirk.
Slayed that dragon, man. That playoff run is insane.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like,
All right, burgers up.
Burgers.
Burger.
And
We're going to do both.
So the Dirk burger. No,
Yeah, what are the parameters here? But what do we got?
we'll do two things. The
You're
first
in my wheelhouse, brother.
the first thing will be describe to me your perfect burger. And the second thing will be what is your number one atypical topping? The atypical topping does not have to be on your perfect burger.
So this is a burger that I'm making myself. This is just a burger. It's not from any particular establishment. This is just if I had the perfect burger made from whomever, it's the best ingredients wherever. This is what I want it, right?
I don't want to necessarily make it super morbid, but like death row style. It's like,
Okay, I got
you're
you.
about to go, and it's like you can have a burger. It could be from this place. It can be mom can make it for you.
Okay.
But it's
I like it. Something's got to be on the line.
the last burger.
The last
Okay.
burger.
Oh my gosh, the last burger. Tony, you feel strongly about this already. I'll let you go first. I'll need some time to ponder this.
I am. I consider myself a burger connoisseur. I've tried all different kinds. Whatever you can describe it. Yeah, I've eaten that thing. And what I find with burgers is you gotta keep it simple. There's no reason to stray from the standard. And the standard is the bun of your choosing. I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. It's so for each individual it's different. So
Is it about the way you prepare said bun, or does that matter either?
you just have to toast it. And whatever method you toast it is fine for me. I'm not super concerned about your bun.
I agree with the toasting.
The only thing that I'm worried about bun-wise is let's talk about depth versus diameter.
Okay.
Preach.
How you build your burger is going to depend on the depth and diameter of that bun.
Mm-hmm.
And this is either going to be from this point on a tall burger or a wide burger. The wide burger is what you want. Am I wrong?
No, it feels like a huge part of why Whataburger reigns supreme in Texas for as long as it has.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't want like a Dagwood Bumstead style
You gotta be able to
cheeseburger.
take a bite out of it.
skewer in it.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah, you take it out and it just...
Something
and
from
you,
the
you
Popeye
have
cartoons.
to slice your portions.
Yes.
Like, no, I want the whole thing in my hand and wide over tall every time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Toast your buns.
Butter them and then toast them.
Butter and toast. Whatever you got to do to toast them. I don't care. If you want to keep it healthier, that's on you.
Toast both sides of the bun.
Yeah. And if you're only going to do one side, do the side that's on the inside, I would say.
Yeah,
I
'cause
want the inside.
That's what's going to get smushy if you don't.
Yeah.
Do both. Don't be lazy.
Yeah, don't be lazy.
Just
but
the last 30 seconds before you put your bun on, flip it over and toast that top bun. It just solidifies everything. It just makes everything better.
it really does.
So for not having a lot of opinions on bun, I'm still on bun.
Yeah. We haven't even made it to the several other toppings there could be on this burger.
Okay, like I said, it's a simple burger.
Right.
All right?
Okay, yes.
So you toasted your buns, tops and bottoms. I want mustard on the bottom bun.
Okay.
I want a 1/4 pound patty.
Okay.
If you're a fatty, you can make it too. That's fine. Hey, I do that quite
Double
often.
patty for the fatty.
Yep. American cheese. Don't get fancy
okay.
with your cheese, and you just need one slice on however many patties you're doing.
See,
Don't get crazy.
I'm a little
One slice per patty?
See, I'm a little cheese slut, so I'll go crazy on some different style cheese, but I'll continue, please.
Okay.
Good sir.
So mustard, patty, cheese, and you just go with your classic. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't go crazy. It's lettuce, tomato, pickles, and onions, and it all has its place.
LTPO.
There's gonna be some disagreements in the group on that, Christopher.
Oh, boy.
2 of those letters can go to hell.
Oh, no.
Crispy lettuce, a fresh tomato that's not gonna just squish as soon as you take a bite. You know, a crispiness around the skin of that thing. And some people disagree with me on this. I do not mind the bite of a very fresh onion. ripe, uncooked onion. I don't mind it. Some people say that it's overpowering, it's
No.
overbearing for their.
I don't either. I love a raw onion.
And I put mayonnaise on the top of my bun.
Yeah, I was going to ask what the top of the bun was going to be. And
So mustard on the bottom and mayonnaise on the top.
This is a noticeably Texas burger in the sense that there's no ketchup on this burger.
I don't
no,
want-
we're not doing that.
I'm
It's
fine
just,
with that.
You want
Ugh.
to talk about overpowering your sandwich? All you taste is ketchup.
Yeah, that's a good burger.
It's-
Tone.
So
that's your God. It is classic.
And
you got to mention
wanna
your boss's old policy about the juiciness of the burger.
yeah, it's a one flip.
Single flip.
Yeah, wait till it gets all juicy and everything on one side, gets all the stuff bubbling, and then flip her on over.
that's it.
And then let her do the same thing on the other side.
And then if you continue to flip after that, then the burger starts to get dry. And nobody wants a dry burger.
And you can throw that cheese on
It turns into a hockey puck.
about, I don't
And this
know,
is a
10,
podcast about
20,
baseball.
10, 20 seconds right before you take the burger right off the griddle or whatever. You slap that cheese on there. Let
Yes.
it get all melty on the griddle.
Yes, that is an important policy to
Yeah.
have.
It will get melty if you take it off the griddle, but it's not going to get the melty you want. You want borderline queso consistency, not quite just drippy. Let's think like flubber on a hot day.
I got you. If you have the ability to wrap said burger afterwards, it continues to kind of emulsify the cheese there, and it gets even meltier and gooier, and it starts to mesh with the bun and the burger.
Okay.
I'm starting to sweat.
The quintessential burger that you described, Tony, is a burger that I would also describe, I mean, almost to even the relation of where the condiments are. So I feel like I've got to
the mustard's
go.
hitting your tongue first there in this bite, which is you get that pop, and then everything else comes after that, which is, as a Texan, I can appreciate.
And I don't usually put mustard on a lot of things, like really ever. If it's on something when it's already on there, that's cool. I won't ask for people to take it off, but I do love it on a burger. Christopher, how about you? What about your top burger, the end all be all burgers?
I agree with Tony in the sense that, it's hard to beat a classic burger, but since I do think that tomatoes are garbage and pickles are also garbage.
I can get on one of your statements about 50%. So of all of that statement, about 25% of it I can get on board with.
Math.
So since I don't like those two, I'll take a different burger approach here.
And you don't like pickles? Your sister, the queen of pickles?
Yes.
And that's probably why.
I used to, I don't know what it is with pickles. I've tried them because they're all like, oh, your taste buds change over time. I try them every couple years, and every couple years I'm routinely disappointed.
Not about it. Okay.
Whataburger has always been on to something with that patty melt. So I don't like it as sloppy, and I'm going to lose the Texas toast in that sense. But if you give me the burger, there's nothing wrong with Texas toast.
What are you supplanting it? Who is the usurper?
So it was just regular bun. Like you give me the
What
regular.
is the charge? A succulent Chinese meal?
Oh my god!
Democracy manifest.
Oh my god! Okay, so you got your regular bun. You toast it with the butter,
Right?
Both sides, top
Yes.
and bottom. Okay. You got two patties. In between each patty,
Yes, two patties.
You got on top of each patty. Let's put it this way: top of each patty is a hefty layer of caramelized onions,
A
and
hefty layer, you said.
then you can go crazy as far as your choice of sauce that you'd want to put on this burger. For me, though, is just yellow mustard.
Oh,
This is a wild burger.
I thought you would go with something maybe like I don't want to say like a chipotle mayo or around that, in that same vein.
While that's all very good, it's gonna sound wild. I reach my level of sloppiness tolerance with the onions alone. So when you mix the onions with the mayo, then it just starts to turn into an nom.
I got
goopy
you.
mess.
Yeah, I got
Well, that
you.
is delicious.
Thank God for that Texas toast. Oh wait, you
No,
took it
yes,
off.
that's what I'm saying. I took this Texas toast off.
Okay.
This is where it gets weird though, because it's like, as far as mass public opinion, you may be sitting in your house being like, that's nasty. But I guess this is my burger, so
Yeah,
That's where I would.
I
go
don't
with
hear
it.
nothing nasty so far.
Oh, I'm surprised
true.
because I don't hear the combination of mustard and caramelized onions too often, but
You should.
it's good. Yeah,
Well-
just yellow mustard. I mean, you don't even have to go like Grey Poupon with it or anything.
Chaps Burgers does that's their
Really?
feature is mustard
Okay.
and caramelized onions.
Well, Chaps is onto something. I've never had Chaps.
I enjoy Chaps. It's
okay,
good.
okay.
So, man, both of you guys have taken like just staunch burgers from my repertoire here. So I feel like I'm gonna get a little artsy with this burger, like something that if I had the time
Be careful now.
to make it, I'm gonna make it. There is one ingredient that you guys did not include on either of your burgers,
I know what it
and it
is.
would go absolutely perfect on both of them. And shame for you for doing it, because
Is
if
it
it's
a
the
pork
last
product?
burger, yes,
It's
because
bacon.
because if it's the last burger, you're telling me you're just gonna forego bacon on there.
You
I
could.
am.
I
I'm
could
not a
put
fan.
bacon on mine, but
I
you
don't-
bring up interesting points there.
It loses its burgerness. It just becomes
it's
You
your
bec- yours
burger.
becomes
sandwichy.
Yeah, I was gonna say a fancy BLT is what yours
becomes
becomes.
sandwich territory when you add bacon.
And I feel like while you do have the BLT factor, it becomes more sandwichy in the sense that usually you go to your major chains. A lot of times when you're getting the burger that has bacon on it, you're losing lettuce and tomato. A lot of times it's like, think of the Baconator at like Wendy's. It's like that thing has no
Just meat and
redeeming
cheese,
quality.
bro.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like
We know who you are.
cholesterol.
So my burger is gonna start off with a brioche bun.
Oh goodness!
I want the brioche bun. We are like everybody else.
Toasting.
Yep.
You said
Buttering, toasting both sides of the top and bottom bun. I'm going to go 2 patties, of course, 2 patties. And I think I'm going to have my patties be 50-50 beef and pork. So half ground pork, half ground pork, half ground beef. I'm going to do Gouda. I want the Gouda on there. I'm going to do a little bit of arugula for my lettuce.
the Gouda gonna go real good with that bun.
I want 4 strips of bacon.
Are we doing like lattice style? Or?
Yeah, you can do it that way. Absolutely. Make that burger fancy. And then the sauce. I've got to have some type of sauce on there. For sure on the bottom, I'm doing some type of maybe like a real like light, like maybe lemony garlic aioli. And not like a crazy amount. Not like you see a schmear on a bagel. A thin but,
A smoking a pancake?
a thin but noticeable amount on the bottom, and then on the top I'm doing some type of like bacon jalapeno marmalade / jam, and yeah, there you go.
You're doing so much.
And that's
It's
But
so
it sounds
fancy.
delicious.
and I would see.
Oh
Here's
my
the thing: is I would
goodness.
happily do both of your burgers as my last burger too. Other than the fact that I'm adding bacon to yours, Tony, and I'm taking off the mustard, I'm putting back the sauce, and I'm putting back the Texas toast on yours, Chris.
You just want a patty melt.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, if I'm getting fancy with my last burger, that's how it's going to be made.
That's damn.
If you would like to make and mail us these burgers, our addresses are.
We've heard about your preferred death row burger here.
I love how first it was just shyly into Death Row Burger. Now it's full on. This is the last meal.
So if you're gonna die,
As punishment for your crimes to society.
oh my goodness. So we've talked about your last burger here, but if you were going to say add a fancy topping to a regular burger, what would be your preferred fancy topping? I say that in the sense that the first time I had a fried egg on a burger,
Oh yeah.
this is how much it blew my mind, is that it was at Denny's of all places, and I thought it was one of the best burgers I'd ever had.
That smash burger
And it
is
was
quality.
at Denny's.
Wow.
That's a smash burger is a quality burger.
I think the first place I had a fried egg on a burger was Red Robin.
Oh my goodness.
Yum.
And
It's a slam burger is what it's called, not a smash.
Yeah,
burger.
smash-
Slam burger.
That makes sense, yeah. For someone who does not like too much of a sloppy burger, that is a way to
Exactly.
make it very messy very quickly.
I will tell you though that just to go back to that slam burger for a second,
Yeah.
another thing that adds to that, they put hash browns on that as well.
Oh my
and those
gosh.
greasy hash browns, they put them on the top, and it just seeps through every ounce of that burger patty, and it just like it's so juicy, the whole burger.
This is like turning into breakfast on a bun, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
This is also an acceptable option. Yeah.
That is a good one.
Fried egg. That would be my freaky deaky topic.
I might be keeping that. Oh my god.
All right.
Okay. Tony?
Good luck with this cold open.
Yeah. Tony, how about you, bud?
I can't disagree with that. The fried egg.
The fried egg? Really?
As opposed to, I'm sure the both of you, I think we've had a subject on fried eggs before. I like a fried hard egg on a burger. I don't like a lot of yolk.
Oh, I need the runny yolk. That's
Okay.
It's a deal breaker if that's not there for me.
You want to talk about sloppy, though.
Yeah.
At this
If
point.
it's a runny yolk,
I'm steering into it at that point.
It's a fork and knife burger almost at one point because the
especially at the
bun's
end.
just going to get turned into
You also have to, like,
phloem.
scarf it immediately, or the yolk will just be, all over your plate instead of in your burger.
Yeah, I do love sopping up part of that yolk
like
with my
scarfing
French
up
fries,
food.
though.
Oh, man.
That part's good.
Especially when you have, endless,
Yeah.
bottomless.
And steak fries, my favorite cut of fry, too. Oh, yeah. Red Robin does have good fries.
Steak fries good. Potato wedge is good.
Mine is going to be a little I don't know if it's controversial. It's weird, but when you said like the ultimate topping, this took me 0 seconds to figure out because it's one that I will put on just about anything, and that's queso. I want queso on my hot dogs. I want queso on my burgers.
What kind of queso?
Just regular old queso, baby.
Like Rico's, like nacho cheese queso, or like something with a flour base.
No, just like like your Velveeta Rotel. Yeah, Velveeta Rotel. You could put a little bit of ground beef in there if you want.
So are you one of those people that you're putting it in the burger, or are you one of those people that's dousing the queso over all of it?
No, not over all of it. Not at all. And to be honest, it's more, and I'm weird with like sauces and dips. I don't do a ton of them. There's only a few foods that I particularly like to use sauces with. So it would be more of a dipping situation. It would be where I'm dipping this burger, every bite of this burger in queso. So it would be as if it is drenched on the top of the patty, not like the bun and stuff.
That is
Queso, baby.
heavy breathing.
What do you think was in that Danish?
Welcome back, everybody, to the Ranger Zone. We are 3 permanently obsessed Texas Rangers fanatics, semi-qualified to dish out our takes like hotcakes from the fans to the front office. I'm Robbie Belusic.
I am Chris Green.
I am Tony Cook.
We have wonderful things planned for everybody today. We're getting into the one, the only Jakey Doublestack himself, Jake Burger, our most recent trade acquisition.
Shrewd, very shrewd.
Mm-hmm. Got a lot of other fun stuff we will get into all about.
I'm going to miss Maximo Acosta so much.
Yeah.
Great trade.
Didn't we just add him to the 40-man roster?
I think
too?
so.
We
They
did,
protect him
we
against the Rule
protected
5.
him. And
He could very well turn out to be something, but
Yeah,
this is good. This is a good trade.
And maybe this is why we protected him, because we knew he might be some kind of piece in a trade during the winter meeting. So good on CY if that was indeed the stratagem, because it worked. But before we get into Mr. Burger, we'll get into a little bit of news. Not particularly Rangers. The smirk on Christopher's face, he already knows.
It feels like it's Rangers news. How can you not
Yeah, that's
celebrate?
true. So Nolan Arenado, who has a no-trade clause, he plays for the Phillies right now?
The Cardinals.
Cardinals right now. So he blocked a trade to Houston. It's so wonderful. It's nice. It was nice to hear because I think he's got like a list of like 4 or 5 teams that he says like he won't go to. And
Why would you want to?
yeah.
To me, as much as people hate on the Astros organization, to me that signifies that the rest of the league is not necessarily considering them in championship contention anymore.
It feels like the window's closing over there.
And that was a sign, obviously, that they're moving on from Alex Bregman. He's not going to be an Astro next year.
They've got a first baseman now and a third baseman.
So excited.
After that, who did they send to the Cubs? Oh, they sent Kyle Tucker.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. And that's another, just in general, the move of trading him as opposed to trying to lock him up also kind of seems to signify that the things may be coming to an end.
That's a guy that could take off now. Can't y'all,
Oh, my
a top
goodness,
prospect,
yes.
change of scenery. You just feel like that's
Oh.
a guy who could really take advantage of that new opportunity.
Mhm.
Good pickup by the north side, but it is only a rental. So are they trying to get into win now mode up there?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't.
Interesting.
I don't know. But yeah, so
Seems
that
like
was
a lot of half measures on the north side.
They've never been afraid to spend. They could just be
That's
looking
true.
for some
That's
pieces to
true.
build around.
Yeah, I mean, that Dansby Swanson contract's looking like a...
Lastly, in the news, Rangers make another signing, guys, to the bullpen. We got left-hand reliever Hobie Milner.
Longhorn, baby.
Yeah, UT alum. Hook 'em.
As y'all know,
Solid
I'm a
pickup.
huge fan of baseball names.
That's a good
What a
baseball.
Yeah,
great
that is
baseball.
a
Hobie
really good
Milner.
Hobie Milner.
Yeah.
That's an excellent baseball
Oh,
name.
can you imagine him coming into the pitch and then you get to hear Chuck say his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Hobie
have fun with that
Hobie
one.
Milner. Oh, that was terrible.
So he's on a oh man, so he's on a 1 year, $2.5 million deal. He's been in the league for a while, since 2017. So a good clip. His last 3 seasons from 2022 is when he started, I guess, getting a little bit more consistent work out of the bullpen. That's when his innings pitched jumped up from in the single digits to some of the teens and into the 60s. So from 2022, pitched 64 innings, 64 innings, 64 innings. I'll get a little more granular because it was 64 and 2/3, 64 and 1/3, and then 64 and 2/3 again.
He couldn't get one more out in 2023.
I know, how crazy is that? What
a bum.
One out from being from having the same number of innings pitched down to the inning,
He
down
was,
to the out. That's crazy.
He was nasty in 2023. This
Yeah.
ERA plus of 238.
Yeah,
He was 138% better than league
I
average.
was like, yeah, we need to get back to what he was doing in
goodness.
2023.
Yeah, because and
Wow.
even the year before, not terrible, a 3.76 ERA, the ERA plus of 107, so still a positive. And then
But a 182
yeah, and-
earned run average. My goodness.
yeah, he was on something there for sure. Took a little dose of reality last year though with that ERA of 4.73, the ERA plus of 89. Not that great, 89. So obviously 11 points under what your average
Even if he
relief
gives
pitcher.
us even slightly worse stats than last year, at 2.5 for a left-handed reliever out of the bullpen,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
That's
I'll take
true.
That every time.
And that seems to be the Rangers' way here of late is kind of spend very cheaply in the bullpen and try to catch fire. And that's not a terrible strategy because from year to year, these bullpen guys, they go up and down and up and down. That's why we haven't had a closer in consecutive years, I think dating back to Joe Nathan, right? Yeah.
You know what's fascinating looking at his last 3 years?
Yeah.
His FIP, which is fielding independent pitching, which is ERA if you were to take the fielders out of it.
Right. So this is pretty much if there's nobody on the field.
In 2022, it was 3.16. In 2023, his amazing year was 3.13.
Oh,
and
wow.
last year was 3.14.
Okay.
He's been insanely consistent in that regard.
So he just had a really good.
It seems almost lucky.
he was when they were hitting it, they were hitting them where they were.
His hits per
Yeah.
9 was way down in 2023, and his whip was below 1. So you can almost kind of seem to want to expect something in between the two of those things on an average.
Yeah.
So he's very solid. He's very solid.
It's really weird to pencil.
He's not your closer, but he's
Yeah.
going to be a solid, middle to back of the rotation.
Yeah, I
guy.
think he'll for sure get in some high leverage situations. I don't think at every point, I think every guy in our bullpen is going to get some high leverage opportunity at some point. There's only maybe.
And Spores wasn't going to be ready to start the year, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
not until close to the All-Star break. I think late June, early July, and if that gets pushed back to mid-July, he's not going to come back till after the break.
This
We
could
still
be
need a
somebody
closer.
that flies under the radar as far as this signing and the importance of it. And,
Yeah.
that lefty out of that bullpen could be utilized properly in a lot of different situations.
Yeah.
Still got to go get Kirby.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we move on, because I did want to just check his splits really quick because I think his splits against lefties are good.
273 versus 225.
Yeah, 273 for right-handed batters, 225 for left-handed batters. So definitely,
Effective against lefties.
yeah, absolutely.
I wonder what does he throw, because he strikes out a lot of left-handed batters. Excuse me.
So his sweeper and sinker are his dominant pitches. He throws those about 32% of the time each. Then he's got a four-seam fastball and then a changeup.
Okay.
And the eye level for the four-seamer is high and away for left-handed batters, where he does the changeup and the sweeper low and inside. So he's not only changing the velocity on that for both of those pitches, but he's changing the location from the fastball. Where that fastball's coming in, high and away, and then he's breaking you off with the changeup and the sweeper, both of which will look really similar until they break differently. Yeah, so that's how he's doing it there.
Whenever we sign a situational reliever, the first stats that I always look up are the clutch stats.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
As these are guys that, like I said, are situational, so they're already most of the time being put in to situations
Higher
where
leverage.
they are either it's a situation where they're supposed to succeed, or a situation where they feel like they are the best pitcher for that situation. So either way, you're looking at, this is what you want from a reliever, as far as I'm coming in to do what I do best. And I'm looking at his strikeout rate right now, and it spikes whenever he's in a late game or a close situation.
Wonderful.
And whenever there's
Love to hear that.
runners in scoring position, his strikeout rate spikes.
That's awesome. That's really
Talk about
good.
being able to bear down. My goodness.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, he's got the stuff. He's got 4 really good pitches, which is usually.
And just to describe the spike, we're going from a high 2s, low 3s to like a mid to high 4s.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a significant increase whenever it's a high pressure situation.
That's awesome. A couple weeks ago, whenever we noted it, it got noted. But Jake Burger is now a Texas Ranger, and we could not be more excited over here at the Ranger Zone.
No, outside of re-signing Nasty Nate, this is hard to imagine this not being the second best move of the offseason.
That dude can mash the baseball.
He really can. And a move that I did not see us making at all, really. No type of trade like this for a person of his caliber and how we're going to use him.
It's going to give us some flexibility in the lineup that I didn't anticipate us being able to have this coming season. So I'm excited about this pickup.
I really am too. He's going to be a very easy fan favorite right off the bat. Yeah. So I'm excited. I believe he wears number 13, which is my number, so I'm excited about that.
That was my number 2 when I play baseball.
No way.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So yeah, a little bit about Jake Burger. He is 6'2", 230. He
Big
might
boy.
be 240.
Chunks.
Yeah. He is a big boy. He was drafted 11th overall by the White Sox out of Missouri State.
That'd be very White Soxian of them to trade a solid major league talent.
Yeah. So drafted in 2017. He had injuries in 2018 and 2019. Nothing super major, but it kept him out. It kept him out of playing baseball enough. COVID, of course, in 2020, so he didn't play
Lost
then.
the season.
Yeah, so he had been out of the league, and then finally got called up July 2nd, 2021. He lives in Nashville, actually in the same neighborhood as Boach.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
I think, and they've got plans to hook up over the off season. So
Nice.
yeah, that'll be fun to get to know your new manager. He's got a little bit of ties to some current Ranger staff, GM assistant Skip Schumacher, and our current bench coach Luis Ureta. They were both with Burger in Miami back when Skip was the Skip. And
Still just a wild move that he's not the manager there any longer.
yeah, it really is. He's also friends with Dane Dunning from his White Sox days.
Oh, yeah, they would have been there together. That's right. Yeah.
As far as his controllability goes, he's got 4 years of it. He's
That's
got
the best
1
part
year.
of this deal.
Yeah, it really is. He's got 1 year of pre-arbitration and 3 years of arbitration. Right now, of course, since he's pre-arb, he's making league minimum. We brought this guy over for almost next to nothing. Who we did trade, though, were 3 prospects we mentioned before. We'll mention them again. That's infielder Eshedri Vargas. That was the main piece of the trade. And then infielder Max Acosta and left-handed pitcher Brian Mendoza.
Dudes that have not proved themselves for a dude who has proved himself.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to get into some of these offensive stats. It's hard not to. I'm foaming at the mouth over here, guys, because he is, you know what's funny? He is incredibly consistent, just like the other pickup that we made in Kyle Higashioka. He's got some incredibly consistent offensive stats to him, specifically in the batting average area. Since 2022, he has batted solidly 250 on the button all 3 of those years, which is awesome.
Chris Davis Burger.
Yeah, his on-base percentage for those 3 years, starting in 2022, 302, 309, 301, and then slugging was 358, 518, 460. So still in that 460. He had a massive year in 2023, I believe. He did. He had 5 more doubles and... Oh, sorry. Yeah, 5 more doubles and 5 more home runs, and his hard hit percentage went up a little bit as well. And then, of course, consistently above OPS plus, 113, 119, and 103 last year, taking a little bit of a dip, and that was defensively. There were some defensive troubles that he had last year. What's funny too about his slash line and this consistency is even in 2021 when he played. Even in 2022, he only played 51 games, but he was on pace to do exactly what he did the next 2 years when he played, almost full seasons, 141 games in 2023 and 137 games in 2024. His righty-lefty splits have gone on a weird projection from year to year.
It seems he almost had reverse splits in 2022 and 2023 and then reverted back to the norm last year.
As a right-handed hitter, he did better against right-handed pitchers last year, and then back to 2022 those flipped. He was hitting lefties better. It's a mixed bag. I mean, I guess if he's going to hit righties better, who knows, but I mean, you should naturally as a right-handed hitter be hitting lefties.
So reverse splits last year, normal splits the previous 2 years.
Yeah. I think he's probably, from what I'm looking at here, I think he's probably going to end up hitting righties a little bit better. And
I guess if you play all the time, naturally you're going to face more righties just because there's more in the league.
That is true. Yeah. So maybe we can get that batting average to even back out.
Okay. Nothing I see is troubling here, though.
No, not at all. I did get a little nerdy into his spray chart, just like I did for Higashioka, just because I like to sometimes. He's typically a dead center hitter. More often than not. Will do a little bit of pull, not as much as Higashioka, where he pretty much is evenly split between center and left field, hitting the ball, where Burger is smashing that thing to dead center, and he's got dead center power, baby. Can go oppo, has a healthy oppo rate to hit the balls over into right field. Will definitely hit the ball to left field, but more often than not, we're going to see him smashing them to center.
So while we all sound very excited about this, we do got to make it clear that we're not expecting this guy to go out there and hit 320 and have a 450 on base percentage. No. But I think we all agree we do expect him to give us 30 bombs.
Absolutely. He's going to hit at least 30 for sure.
Yeah.
I think you can sign, seal it, deliver it.
If this man's playing, you got 30 extra bombs in the lineup. He's going to strike out those 150 times. It's not 200 times, but it's a lot of strikeouts. He feels like a guy you could probably pencil in that 5th, 6th spot in your lineup dang near every day.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned strikeouts. I will tell you here, he does have, as a guy who hits bombs, he's going to strike out a lot. His average.
He's not walking a lot.
No, he's not walking a lot, but he is striking out a lot. So
it's like a 5-to-1 ratio as far as strikeouts to walk.
It's rough.
Much, yeah.
It's rough.
He was in 2024 last season, he was 45th in the league in strikeouts, and then the year previous he was 37th in the league in strikeouts, with both consistently 150 last season and then 149 in 2023. So does swing the bat, and that's okay. If you're going to hit 30 bombs every year, you can strike out that amount.
Your offensive production, though, is hanging on those bombs, because if you're giving me this 250 batting average and a 310 on base percentage, and you're giving me 12 bombs, we've got a problem all of a sudden.
Yes. I have a link here to his first home run that if you guys have not watched, you need to click on it right now because it is massive. While y'all are pulling that up, I will tell you, it was 2 weeks after his debut, so he debuted July 2nd. This home run was hit on July 17th. That, of course, in 2021 when he debuted. So he hit this home run against Austin Pruitt of the Houston Disastros. It was on a 2-1 count. And if you've already have you guys seen the doc already? How long it went?
She's loading.
It's an ad for a certain tire company. There we go. Here we go. Oh my God!
His first big league home run. It's Jake Burger.
Okay, that's at least 415.
He destroys this ball into into dead left field.
That's closer to the back of the seats than the front of the seats.
And he made the score from the video I'm watching. He made it 10-0. The Sox were just wiping the floor with the Astros.
Man, I remember when the White Sox are good.
Look at this swing. He
he was so far out in front of this thing,
smash.
but was able to, even though he was so far leaned in front of it, was able to keep his back leg stable.
Yeah.
In order to get enough on that thing to keep it in the field of play.
Yeah.
Normally, when you're out that far in front, you're yanking that thing into the seats.
Yeah.
To his left,
which is even more of a testament because it went 456 feet.
Ugh.
It was a guaranteed bomb.
It's gone.
Some miscellaneous stuff I thought that was just kind of funny. He was hit by pitch 12 times in 2023.
Him and Josh Smith will get along great.
Yeah, which was 23rd overall for the league.
So I have some interesting offensive stats that I would like to bring up about Jake Burger.
Yeah, let's hear it.
And this I'm going to do a stat comparison.
Okay.
And it's a former Rangers. I don't know if I'd call him great, but certainly a fan favorite for a few years.
Okay.
These aren't his stats while he was with the team. These are just his age comparable stats with Jake Burger. So this is going to be Jake Burger's age 27 and 28 seasons combined compared to the 27 and 28 seasons of Mike Napoli.
Okay. Okay, great. His 27-28, that would be last season and 2023, correct?
Yes, that is correct. So a caveat to these comparisons is that at this point, Mike Napoli was playing catcher consistently, which is notorious for
lack of offense,
pushing down your offensive capabilities because of how much effort you're putting in throughout the whole game.
Right.
And we're going to the opposite spectrum of that with first base.
Right. But he does play a lot of third base as well,
which brings that value back up.
So as far as WAR for these two seasons combined, we're looking at a 3 from Jake Burger and a 5 from Mike Napoli because of the defensive ability that he's bringing to the table here. So game comparison, 278 for Burger to 254 for Napoli.
Okay.
Plate appearances is 1,119 for Burger versus 942 for Napoli.
Jeez.
Which is normal.
Yeah.
Taking a few extra days off from behind the plate. Hits wise, 257 to 212 for Burger. Home runs, 63 to 46 for Burger.
Wow.
RBI, 156 to 124 for Burger. Napoli's got more stolen bases of 7 to 2. He's got a slightly better batting average at 254 versus 250.
Wow, just negligibly better.
Yes.
Okay.
That's one extra hit, ground ball. Or just a couple.
Yeah, or one less at bat.
Yeah.
On base percentage wise, 331 for Napoli versus 305 for Burger. As we said, he doesn't walk much.
Right.
Yeah.
Slugging 488 for Burger versus 479 for Napoli.
Okay.
OPS 810 to 793 for Napoli, and OPS plus 117 to 111 for Napoli. Very comparable stats as far as I'm concerned here. This guy can straight up hit the baseball.
I'm going to buy a Jake Burger jersey. I'm pretty sure it's happening.
I mean, what's that you say? League minimum and 3 more years of arbitration?
Yeah.
And we get to pick and choose the spots where we play him because he's platooning? Like, we're setting this man up for success.
We really are.
I wonder if there's a stat that can compare how much we spend per home run for a player.
I'm sure there's something out there, yeah.
Because if you're hitting 30 dingers at league average, what is the value of that? My goodness.
So we do need to look into his defensive stats for sure. I know we all feel a little differently about what we think his role is going to be on this team defensively. This might help clear some of these things up for everybody. So as far as his position breakdown for the last 3 seasons since 2022, he primarily played third base in that season where he only played 51 games. Primarily played third base for 37 of those games.
Do y'all see? Is he seeing the hot corner? here?
No.
I mean, we've got two dudes that are significantly better at that position.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've
One
got
of which
stuff later
needs to
on.
get his playing time, Josh Smith.
He's going to get it.
Okay, good.
Yeah. He's going to get it. He's so versatile. He's going to get it.
In 2023, he played even more third base, predominantly 102 games at third base, and then his next highest position played, it was DH, and then after that, split first base and second base with 5 games apiece. And then last season in 2024, he really evenly split between first base and third base, 69 games at first to 59 games at third, and then he DH'd 25 games. Oh, I don't think I mentioned in 2023 he DH'd 28 games. So consistently DH from last year to the year before, but did a more of a split between the two corners in last season. I want to get into his fielding percentage and even more specifically his range factor.
Looking at this, all I'm seeing is even more reason you're never seeing the hot corner.
So I wanted to get into his fielding percentage and range factor, and again, that range factor is really kind of like how a player is judged defensively. There's not like a set. Christopher, I think I told you last week or the week before that it's measured individually by position, but it's not. It's measured just as a whole. But there are certain brackets that positions live within. Like, it's going to be higher for players who make a lot of plays, like at third base and at shortstop and
center field,
and stuff like that. So, and it goes kind of beyond fielding percentage, where it's directly measuring how many plays that you are specifically involved in per inning. So how many balls are hit your way, how many times you're going to lob it to second base for the double play that's going to go to first base. So it takes all of that stuff into account, the chances that you have and what you do with those chances. So in that regard, at first base, we'll do third base first because it's the most egregious one, I think. His range factor is consistently under league average. Fielding percentage is also consistently under league average. Errors are really getting to him at third base specifically. In 2023, he had 9 errors. In 2024, he had 13 errors, 11 of those of which were at third base. It was the 5th worst at that position for errors. In 2022, remember, this was the season he only played 51 games. 41 of those games he actually saw the field, and he committed 6 errors in those 41 games. That's a lot. That's what, one a week?
Yeah.
That's too many errors.
That's what you want from a whole team.
Yeah.
1 a week.
And remember that it was at the time that he was primarily playing third base again. And back in 2022, he had those games at third base, committing too many errors.
Of the 3 years he's played and seen time at third base, his career worst fielding percentage was last season, where it was .925, and the league fielding percentage at that position was .960. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely significantly worse defensively at third base.
Yeah. And I don't want to say that, and even though
he's playable.
Yes. And yeah, because even though his range factor is lower than the league average, it's small. It's not insignificant, but the errors are definitely a tribute to why he has poor fielding percentage, or why he's always under league average for these metrics.
And he's going to be third at least on the pecking chart to get time there.
At third base, for sure.
Things have to go wrong.
Yes, for sure. At first base, which is why I think Miami platooned him a little bit more at first base last season, because he was struggling a little bit at third base defensively with all those errors. His range factor was above league average in 2023. Remember, he didn't play that many games, though, at first base. Last season, though, it was under league average again, but fielding percentage right at average for both of them. If he is going to get defensive playing time, I see it more so at first base.
Definitely, yeah.
And even then, it's not going to be anything close to a platoon system. I think it's going to be when Nate Lowe needs a day off, and expect Nate Lowe to play 150 games, at least, I would say. I've got some comparison stats for why he's not going to be playing these positions because of the people who are there.
We got 2 guys that very much can play those positions.
Yeah, Josh Young, this is obviously a no-brainer. It is a little bit harder to kind of give a fair shake between the two guys because Josh Young has only played about 165 games at third base, where Jake Burger has played, I think, close to double that.
Is that Josh Young leading the league in fielding percentage as a rookie?
Led the league in range factor as well.
Yeah, Josh Young is a bona fide third baseman over there. Has already been doing incredible things in the 3 seasons that he has played, and really accumulatively only 1 season he's played 162 games.
Were he to lose his starting job at third base, it seems it would be from injuries and not defensive ability.
Absolutely not. And then even then, I think you're going to put Josh Smith or Ezekiel Duran over at third base.
I wasn't even thinking about Zeke Duran. Yeah, I mean, Burger's really now 4th on this list.
Yeah, he is. And then I'll move over to the other side, first base. If he is going to get playing time defensively, that is where it's most likely going to be against Nate Lowe's defensive acumen and accolades here. I mean, look at all of the bold in this, in just since 2021 has led the league in so many different categories: defensive plays, putouts, assists, range factor.
Silently.
Yes, silently. Yeah,
first baseman.
Yeah, lest we not forget, boys, Nate Lowe, despite him being perceived as having all of these shortcomings, he's been able to do all of this. Has been better than league average, or has led the league in various categories for the last 4 seasons, and won a Gold Glove in 2023. That's where his defensive abilities really stepped up and didn't really fall off a shelf too much from year to year. So just another reason why he's not going to be platooning anywhere with Nate Lowe. Jake Burger was brought here to bat.
You know, that falls right in line with, you were saying a few episodes ago about what you want to see from the DH position.
Yeah.
And to me, Jake Burger is just going to gobble up all of those at-bats.
He should. And that's fine. I understand that if you want to do a little bit more of a rotational thing with DH, it certainly does not need to be what it was last season where it was just a swinging door. But back to our World Series year where it was really 2 guys who were mainstay, and then those 2 guys had one guy each to kind of platoon them a little bit, got like half of their at-bats. But I see him being the everyday DH. Got some cool quotes from people from him and just from other people about him. Sean McFarland from the Dallas Morning News, quote from Burger just about where he thinks he might play, and he says, "I don't know what it looks like or where I slot in the lineup right now, but I do know what I'm good at, and that is trying to put the ball out of the ballpark."
Yes,
and that's going to get him in that lineup.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
Sir.
He said, "For me, I want to get in the lineup and I want to help as much as I can." And he's going to be able to, oh man, he is a specimen for shizzly whizzly. Kennedy Landry reported that Chris Young said Burger had been on our radar for a while, and in one way or another since 2021 when he came up with the White Sox, when he made his debut. Our Pobo went on to say our pro scouting department did a tremendous job, and our R&D department as well identified him as somebody who upgrades our team in an area that maybe we underperformed last year. I'm sure that was
just a little
tongue in cheek. Yeah, we think he's a great fit. Us 3 here absolutely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And we got comfortable with the person based on some of our relationships and contacts there. Like we mentioned earlier, he's got his fingerprints and relationship with players and staff who are on this team from his previous years with the White Sox and the Marlins. Chris Young finishes, he says, "This felt like it was a good way to improve our team."
Back to Burger's quotes about Skip Schumacher and our bench coach.
Yeah, I think that's what this is in relation to. Yeah, Burger goes on in the Kennedy Landry article to say regarding his relationship with our staff and Dane Dunning from before, those guys helped me both so much on and off the field. Getting back into an organization with them is awesome. He even goes on to say that I wish we were going down to Arizona for spring tomorrow, which is even more exciting
Chomping
to hear.
at the bit.
Yeah, he is happy to be here, and we're happy for him to be here. It's going to be a hamburger party, baby. I can't. The marketing possibilities are endless. Do you know how many burger bobbleheads we're going to have? And there's going to be some type of Jake Burger burger.
He's got to design his own burger.
Yes.
Mayor
Got to.
McCheese.
Yeah. Oh man. Can we go to the games in Mayor McCheese outfits, guys? Well, just be different guys from McDonald's.
Somebody's
plans?
Mayor McCheese. Somebody's the Hamburger.
I'm definitely the hamburger.
Nobody is Grimace.
Nobody is Grimace.
No.
I really think that there's an opportunity for him to be a very, very quality fit here and to just hit the ground running.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy that's not going to struggle to find the at-bats. From the outside looking in, it looks like he might because he doesn't have a home,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I don't think
he's going to
so.
get all the at-bats that he wants. He's going to be able to play the field when he wants.
I can't even think about the last time that we just had a true everyday DH consistently in and out for more than 3 seasons. I just can't. We can ask Christopher. He might know.
I'm sure he would.
I bet he does. Christopher's on a phone call with his dad at the moment, and he doesn't know this is going to be in the recording because he's still on the phone with his dad. So it'll be a nice little surprise for him when it comes out.
Chris Green the first.
Yeah, Chris Green the first.
I wonder what this means for Travis Jankowski and his. Is he in our plans? Do you think?
I don't know. I know he's still a free agent.
1.7 last year was his number.
Okay, so probably not going to be too much more than that. Maybe $2 million. Maybe 2.5. We remember we optioned him at the very end of the year. I think it was the day after he made that incredible robbing home run catch. That was in late September too.
That sucks.
Yeah, and he got optioned down, but then I think he ended up coming back. He got optioned down. Oh, and I think he went through the waivers. No one claimed him.
Huh.
and we grabbed him back. But if he's available and we've got the money and we already have the rest of our bullpen pieces, because I think we're still going to spend some money on this bullpen. But I'd love to have Travis Jankowski back. He's got huge clutch factor stuff. He's not going to hit a bunch of bombs. He's like a little JJ Barea for the Mavs. He's like a gnat.
He's a glue guy.
Yes, and he's fast. He's short to the ground, so he's fast. He can be the guy that if you need to, just slap the ball on the ground and run to first. But he's got double power. He's got that line drive power. We saw his clutch stuff in the World Series when he came into sub for Adolis. He was smacking the ball around, dude.
And I think he proved some real value in late game situations as a pinch runner as well.
Yeah, for all of our offensive downfalls last year, bringing Jankowski back would only be a plus to that because he's got a good bat for sure. He's got a quality bat.
I think that could complete our offseason from an offensive perspective.
I think so too. Yeah, and you've got that. It's one more outfielder if you need him. It's a DH guy if you need him. Like he's not going to be hitting the bombs like I said as a DH, but he's going to be getting on base for sure.
I did not mean to.
No, don't you? Was it your dad?
Button. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I hit the answer button. I was like, oh, shit.
I had a question for you because we were talking about Jake Berger and just Tony made the point that this could set this guy up to be just a consistent staple in our lineup for his entire controllable future. And I mentioned that, I can't remember a time where we had this, true up and down, day in and out, multiple season DH for at least like 3 seasons. When's the last time we've had someone like that?
For 3 seasons?
Yeah, for at least 3 seasons. Because this guy, remember, he's going to be controllable for 4. So, of course, barring injury, this guy could everyday DH. When's the last time we had someone like that?
We've definitely historically been one of those teams that used the DH position more as of a, hey, this guy needs a day off. He's not going to play defense today, so let him use that. But to have a bona fide DH, it's
Vladdy Guerrero.
But even that was only 1 year.
Yeah.
We've had like the one-off guys like Hunter Pence and Carlos Beltran. We traded for him at one point, but I can't think of a long-term DH. This is the second edition of Remember This Ranger. Like we mentioned in the first one, it can go one of 2 ways. It can be notable guys who spent a short amount of time here, or it could be super deep cuts of guys where you're like, who? We got the latter today.
All right.
And the connection I'm making to the current episode is this guy is also a burger. This guy is a hamburger. This is Mark Hamburger. Now, if you remember Mark Hamburger...
Who?
If you remember this Mark Hamburger guy, then I salute you. The man had a career WAR of 0.0. He was replacement level.
That sounds almost tough to do. Feel like you can have a positive WAR, feel like you can have a negative WAR. How do you do one right on the button?
Goodness.
It starts out by only having a major league career of 8 innings pitched.
Oh no.
He had a whip of exactly 1. He struck out 6 dudes. He made his way into 5 games for us in the 2011 season. He was a September call-up. But yeah, Mark Hamburger was a guy. He was certainly a guy. He did have an ERA plus.
And the fact that he was human.
He was there. He happened. He did end up signing, I believe, a minor league deal with the Minnesota Twins the following season or two afterward. Never made a major league appearance with them. Never made his way back onto a mound again. But for 5 games in the 2011 season, Mark Hamburger was a Ranger.
In those 8 innings, he walked 3 guys.
How dare he?
He gave up 5 hits across those 8 innings as well. My gosh.
Had an ERA of 4.50.
How is his WAR 0.0? He did terribly. He has a positive ERA plus.
My dude was exactly average.
Impossible.
Exactly average.
He gave up 4 runs.
He is the Mason-Dixon line.
My gosh. He made $481,000 while he was here.
That's the benefits of making that 40-man.
That pennant is just as real for him as it is for anybody else on that team. You know, that's crazy. I love that baseball does that.
Nothing he did seemed bad enough to justify him never getting another opportunity, but he never did.
This is how goofy the batting average stat is. Despite giving up 4 runs, 4 hits, walking 3, the batting average against him was 179. What? How?
That's so unclutch.
Didn't give up any home runs.
So it's like guys got in scoring position, he falls apart.
That's so weird. Oh man, look at this mustache. Always rocking the mustache in his pictures. They got a minor league picture of him here too with the Toledo Mud Hens, I think.
Getting Spores vibes from this guy.
Yeah, Civil War general.
The ghost of Stonewall Jackson.
Struck out 6 in that time, though, so that's kind of cool.
Okay, so his final major league appearance was 3 2/3 innings where he gave up 2 hits, struck out 3, only walked 1, got the win. That was his one win in this final game played.
That's
Go
where
out with your head held high.
That's why they gave him that even WAR.
There we go.
Ended on a good note.
He's like that Doc from Field of Dreams.
Yes.
I get in there and I winked at the pitcher, and he brushed me off the plate.
He got in the game and he made a tackle.
Definitely want to do some predictions here for Mr. Jake Burger. So we'll go through a few different ones. I want to get into like even some of the positions, how many games we think he's going to play at maybe first and third and DH, of course. And then, we'll do home runs and all that good stuff. So we'll go around the room just like we did last time. Tony, I'll start with you and we'll start with the games played. So give me the amount of games played you think he's going to play at third base, first base, and as a DH.
I agree with Robbie. I believe that he will get most of his playing time at DH for us next year, more than he's had in any other year. I'm going to put it at 97 games in DH.
All right, how about either of the corners? Where do you think he's going to
Third base, I'm going to put that at 6.
Going to see a little bit of third base action. Okay.
And first base, I'm going to put that at 29.
Oh, wow. Going to get at least a whole month of starts over there at the bag, or at least, just in the game, not necessarily a start, but all right, cool. So that would put his total at just over like about 135 games. Looks like solid prediction. Oh, Chris already got his filled out over here. All right, well, I'll do mine first and then I'll read yours off. I think he's going to do at DH, I think we're going to see 101 at DH. He's going to bat at least over 100. First base, nope. You know what? I'm changing that. I think he's going to see 119 games in the DH spot.
He really going to be that guy.
He is going to be that guy. I think so. What gives me pause about this is just the way that we've done the DH position the last several years and how we've always treated it. And with Chris Young's quote about he wants it to be a platoon system. How do you take this guy out of the lineup? I think I would love for him to play 120 games of DH. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say he plays 86.
Oh.
I'm going to undercut
the other way
this.
with it.
I did, because just from how we treated it the last year and even the year before, our World Series year, we still had 2 guys who split 60% of them and another 2 guys who split the other part. So I'll say 86 games at DH. I liked your 6 at third base, Tony. I'm going to do 7. I'll give him a whole week at third base throughout the year. And then I'll say Say 25 games at first base.
I think they got him to play him. Not necessarily at the same position every day, but I could see it being a pretty even 2-to-1 split.
I'm going back 101.
Whoa! Where we started?
Go 101.
All right,
We've come full circle.
I've come full circle.
I done talked you into it and back out of it and into it again.
All right, go ahead, Christopher.
Oh, okay. So I think we got him to play him. It's going to be a 2-to-1 split as far as this DH and first base days. I got him at 100 games even for DH.
Okay.
I got him for 47 at first.
Okay, man, you have been playing the most days out of all of us, too.
Yes, I think
That would be the most games he's ever played, right?
Yes, not by a terrible
ton.
amount.
Yeah, by
but
about 10, I think.
he'd be 148 games total because I think this man will be lucky to get one game at third base.
Batting average, 250. That's
250.
I'm
I got no reason to think he'll do anything else.
You gotta do it.
And then as well, like, I'm not saying he's a fully developed major league bat, but I'm not sitting here anticipating any major changes in his performance, positively or negatively. I'm thinking we traded for what he's been doing.
I do as well.
Just, his stats are so consistent. I just really want that to continue just for the aesthetic of it. And I just all his stats are 250. It just looks pretty.
I know.
You know?
What about his on-base percentage, Tony? What do you think?
314.
314. Well, that'll be his best
Highest
one,
ever.
except for 2021, which I think he only played like.
That was the 56 games.
No, that he played like 15 games. That was his
cup of tea.
Yeah, his debut season in 2021.
September kind of thing.
Well, kind of. He got called up in July.
Okay.
And then I think that's throughout the last half. I'm going to say like 310.
I will see your 310 and raise you. No, I'm not going to raise you. I was actually also had 310.
Nice.
So I'm right there with you. I think 310's where he's at. That sounds about right.
I think this is going to be the best offense he's ever going to be slotted into, and I think he's going to see better pitching than he's had at the major league level. A better pitches to hit. Part of me is what I should have said. Better pitches to hit.
Okay, yeah. How about that slug?
458.
458, huh? That is pretty much where he's at, right in that 460, 458 range. What about you, Tony?
I said 467.
467. Mine is going to make sense because of the next one, and I think he's going to slug 550.
Ooh.
And because for this next one, I'm predicting
40
he's going to
burger.
hit 40 home runs.
My
Daggone 40
goodness.
burger.
Yep, he's going to hit 40 home runs next year. Put it on the books. All right, Tony, how about you for home runs?
36. for me.
36 home runs. Awesome. Then what do you got down there for home runs, Christopher?
I'm thinking 458 for slugging and 33 for home runs.
That's right. Okay.
The
You're thinking pretty much almost a carbon copy of like right in the middle of the last two seasons, which heck yeah,
And
give
not-
it to me.
not being necessarily a doubles machine to boost that slugging percentage up at all. So it's just going to be a lot of all or nothing probably with him. You know, he's either going to strike out or hit the bombs, but
He's going to hit the bombs.
That's what we expect. That's what we got him for.
Mm-hmm.
That's a need that we needed in this lineup.
Stolen bases, not a category that you think we would be talking about with Jake Berger. We haven't mentioned it at all up until now, but he did steal a couple. One last year and one the year before. So where are you?
Very Adrian Beltre of him.
Yeah, where are you at on stolen bases, Tony?
Those days are over.
None.
0.
Not a one. I'll say one. No, he's going to swipe at least one bag
Goodness,
this
I
year.
put 2.
2? Okay.
All right. So here's the ultimate question, and the one that we can come back to at the end of the season. Does he play more games at third base than bases stolen?
Ooh, that's a good one. I know it's not what I had put here, but I will say, oh man, it's so tough. Oh,
He will have more starts at third.
You
than
think
he will
so?
have
I think he's
stolen
going to steal more
bases.
bases.
I think he'll start at third
Okay.
more than he'll steal
So,
bases.
Does it
Yeah.
count? Do you have to start the game at third, or do you just have to enter the
Games
game at some
played.
point?
This is just
Games
games
played.
played.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This
Yeah,
man's name
he's-
is Burger.
He's
Okay, fair. He's fair.
Here's even more consistency. I don't know how I missed it. So he's 50-50 the last 2 years on stolen bases. He got caught once and he swiped one bag both of the last 2 years.
We've covered all the bases on Mr. Burger.
Yeah, we really have. Well, I'll take
If you did not know Jake Berger, you do now.
Yeah, you absolutely do. Like I mentioned earlier, I hope he continues to wear 13. I think that's what he wore. Oh, no. Sorry. I don't know why I said that earlier. He's wearing 30. Wore 30 with the
30
White
Burger.
Sox and wore 36 with the Marlins. I thought he wore 13 somewhere, maybe. Hold on, Jake Burger, number 13. Am I ridiculous? His Instagram. Oh, I forgot his Instagram and Twitter handle are Burgertron13. So I'm pretty sure he wore it somewhere. I just don't remember where.
Burgertron.
Burgertron13.
This guy's great.
I'm very excited to have him. And we got Whataburger in the ballpark now. It's a match made in heaven.
For Halloween, he should dress up as the Mandalorian so he can be a Mondo Burger.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Get out of here. Well, thank you guys so much for playing along on another episode of the Ranger Zone. It always means a great deal that you guys take the time to spend time with us, 3 bargain brand Muppets. Next week, we will have something for you next week, and it will be good. So don't forget your imaginary ticket to the show.
Don't touch that dial.
As always, you can keep up with us, trying to keep up with social media on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube at Ranger Zone Pod. That is at Ranger Zone Pod. We are definitely worth a follow for the nonsense alone. And of course, you can listen to us just about anywhere you get your podcasts. So thank you again, everybody. This has been the Ranger Zone, and I have been Robbie Belusic.
I am Chris Green.
I am Tony Cook.
And that is the way the baseball go.